Hi there, this is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to lesson number 37. This is a review lesson. We'll begin by setting up the table. You'll need your top 160 sight word list, the sight word study method instruction sheet, the student's card pack of sight words, the blank cards for introducing new sight words, a highlighter, markers, and some pencils. For the short vowel drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet, the keyword pictures, and the keyword sentence. For the phonemic awareness drill, you'll need the instruction sheet and the colored tiles for the student. For the visual and auditory drill, you'll need the teacher instruction sheet and the card pack for the student. Then we move on to the syllable card drill, and we're making things a little bit easier in this lesson. We've been doing multi-syllable words, and that is a lot. So we're going to bring it right back in this lesson, and the student will see how much progress they've accomplished because we're just doing compound words with 2 syllables. Then we'll do the magnetic letter tile drills for reading and spelling. You'll have the instruction sheet and the tile board with the tiles spread out in a rainbow shape. Then we'll have the syllable pounding instruction sheet, the kinesthetic discovery sheet, and the sheets for this lesson. You'll have the single word list, the short story that the student will read, and the 3 sentences for the writing portion of the lesson. In addition to all that, we'll have a TCH and CH sort set up on the table, so you have to cut that one out, and a yes-no sort for the doubling rule that we learned about, F, L, S, and Z. And the student will sort that one. And in addition, you might have a timer on the table. If your student is working on fluency, that'll be the case. And when your student is ready to work on fluency, you have to add a second program into the lessons. It might be Read Naturally or the 6-minute reading solution. Go back to lesson 33 to learn more about that. Begin with the sight word study method. Student, take out your sight word card pack and read through each card. When you read it correctly, you will put a check mark in the corner of the index card. Then give the card back to your teacher, and it's your teacher's turn to read. Your teacher will read the cards, and you will write down the word that you hear. And in the other corner of the index card, when you get it correct, you will put a check mark there. And teacher, you are ready with blocking strategies to help the student if they encounter any difficulties. And remember that for which rich is a such much, those exceptions to the TCH rule that we learned about, we did have a keyword sentence and a picture that we made to remember those 4 words that we have to remember. Let's do the short vowel drill. Student, you'll have to take out your keyword pictures and your keyword sentence for this one. Take 2 fingers and trace the keyword shape, saying the name. So it might be apple, and then underline it and say the target sound. Ah. Eddie, eh. Do each one as many times as your teacher deems necessary. And then I want you to take out that sentence, and I want you to say the sentence, stretching out the vowel sounds as you do it. Let's do the phonemic awareness drill. Student, you're going to need your colored tiles for this one. Your word is hat. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will wear a hat. Okay, now I'd like you to build the word hat with colored tiles. Tap it and then say it. Okay, teacher checks the work. And can you please find the ah in hat and touch the ah? Change the ah into an and what's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get hut? If you did, that's right. Now take a new color and call it n. I want you to put the n right before the t. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get hunt? If you did, that's right. Now find the t in hunt. Take it away, and what are you left with? Tap it and say it. Did you get hun? If you did, that's right. Now grab a new tile and call it ch. Can you repeat that sound? Okay, put the ch on the end of hun. What's your new word? Tap it and say it. Did you get hunch? If you did, that's correct. Let's stop there. Good job. You can put your towels away. Let's do the visual drill. Student, you have your card pack for this one, and the teacher flashes the card and you say the sounds. So for this one, for CH, there are 3 sounds that go with this one. Say all 3. Did you get ch as in chip, k as in school, and sh as in machine? If you did, that's right. Teacher, you can do about 6 to 8 flashcards in this way, and then we'll move on to the auditory drill. Let's do the auditory drill. This time the teacher has the card pack and is not showing the card pack to the student. The teacher says, student, your sound is f. Can you repeat that sound? Okay, now what symbols do you know to write the sound f? Write them down now and say it as you do it. Say the target sound. And then underline it and say the sound again. Then we check our work. Did you say F can make the f sound, as in fish? That's true. PH can also do it, as in graph or dolphin. Okay, teacher, you can do this method for 6 to 8 cards and then come back to me. The syllable card drill is all set up on the table for you, and you will tap it and say it, reading down each syllable in the left column and then each one in the right column. Then you'll make some nonsense words by reading straight across the rows. Then switch those syllables in column number 2 so that you can make some real words when they're combined with column number 1. Remember to talk about the meanings of the words and to try to put some of them into sentences. Okay, let's move on to syllable pounding. This is where you stretch out your arm and I say a word. Every time you hear a syllable in the word, your fingers pop out to represent that syllable. If you'd prefer, you could do it this way and put your hand under your chin, and every time your jaw drops, a syllable is created. For example, Shawna. So my name has 2 syllables because my jaw dropped twice. Shawna. Yeah. Okay, your word, so get ready to pound it out or do it this way. Your word is cab. Okay, how many did you get in that one? I hear 1 vowel sound. It's the ah, so that's 1 syllable. How about cabin? I will go to the cabin. Cabin. Okay, say that word, cabin, and pound it out. Did you get 2? If you did, that's right. Now say this word, slingshot. A slingshot, I might pull it back and release the slingshot. Okay, how many syllables are in slingshot? Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. Let's do 1 more. Okay, how about bobsled? Okay, repeat that word and pound it out. Did you say 2? If you did, that's right. Let's do a review of those times when 2 consonants are side by side, and instead of blending, they make a brand new sound. This would be happening in SH, which makes sh, or TH, which has 2 sounds. Do you remember? Tell your teacher the 2 sounds that it makes. How about WH? It can make 2 sounds as well. Tell your teacher if you know those 2 sounds. And PH is one of these as well. What sound does it make? Let's do a blending drill to review the sounds these different combos make. Another thing that we need to review is the TCH rule. If we have a word like this one, you can take out your rule card too if that helps. Let's tap this one and say it. We've got f, e, ch, fetch, as in I will fetch the ball. I'm wondering if this one is spelled correctly. To know, we have to use the TCH rule. So we ask ourselves, is there a short vowel? Sure is. Is it followed by the ch sound? It is. I hear no sound in between there. CH does not want to be the babysitter. That's a little story we tell ourselves to remember this. So in this closed syllable situation, CH says, no way, I'm not doing it. I'm not a babysitter. So T comes in and he says, oh, don't worry, stop fighting. I am going to come in and take care of E. I will be the babysitter. And we can remember it's T because he stretches his arms out, keeping those two apart. So now that is a situation where the T has to be there. So we have fetch. And we don't hear the T when we say I will fetch it. Do you hear that the T is missing in that sound? Fetch. So we have to know that we have to write it with a T. Let's try another example to see if you get this. I'm wondering, how would I spell finch? Is this the correct way to do it? So let's apply the TCH rule. Do we have one short vowel? And is that short vowel followed directly by the ch? It's not. There's already a babysitter in that word at the end. Finch. Finch. So we don't need the T because we already have those two separated. Okay, teacher, we're going to review this by doing a quick sort. So on the table, you have the yes, no pile. Yes, no, and then you have the words in your hand. They're the TCH words or not TCH words. So one of them is, one of the headings says TCH and one of the headings says CH. Student, the teacher's going to read a card and you're going to listen carefully, and I'd like you to tap out the sounds that you hear. So if it was this one, finch, the teacher is not going to show it to you, and the teacher says, your word is finch. Can you tap that out? And you would go f-i-n-ch. And you felt the n in there, yeah. And so you know there's something separating the vowel sound and the ch. And so the teacher would say, is this a TCH or a CH situation? And you would say one of those two things, and then the teacher will reveal the word, and you guys can put it under the correct heading. Do that for about 6 to 8 of these, and then come back to me. There's one final concept that we need to review. This is the doubling rule for F, L, S, and Z. Can you take out your rule card and your keyword sentence for this concept? Okay. I have a word here. Is this word a closed syllable? Tap it and say it first so you know what the word is. Bud. Bud. So you could say the plant has a new bud on it. Is it a closed syllable? Explain to your teacher why you think this is either is a closed syllable or is not. You guys have a quick discussion. Now this one is a closed syllable because we have one vowel followed by at least one consonant. So the consonant is closing the vowel in. And that's going to make this vowel short. It's going to say it's apple, Eddie, itchy, olive, up sound. In this case, it's a U, so it'll be the up sound. What I'm wondering is this spelled correctly? So that there's going to be the spelling rules happen at the end of words almost always. So I'm wondering, is this D all by itself or does it need to get doubled? And if we want to know that, we have to look at this doubling rule for F, L, S, or Z. So we ask ourselves, is this an F, L, S, or Z? And it's not an F, L, S, or Z. So that word is spelled correctly. But what if we had a word like this? Can you tap this one and say it? We have buzz, buzz. You ask yourself, is that a closed syllable and is it spelled correctly? Yeah, it's a one syllable, closed syllable, and it's ending in the Z. What do we have to do for this one? Well, this one is a doubling situation because it ends in a Z. F, L, S, and Z are the ones that get doubled if they're one syllable words. We have a keyword sentence that helps us to remember which are the letters that get doubled in a one syllable closed syllable if they appear at the end. Can you tell your teacher that keyword sentence? Okay, did you say Jeff will pass Buzz? And now explain to your teacher how that helps us to remember these 4 letters that get doubled if they're at the end of a one-syllable closed syllable. Okay, you can have your rule card out there. You can have your keyword sentence out to help you. And you're going to do a quick sort to review this concept. Some of these words that you're going to see, there's a heading and it says these are doubler words where they would have to get F, L, S, or Z doubled to be spelled correctly. And then there's another pile for the ones that already are correct because they're not ending in F, L, S, or Z. So you take your card and you decide which pile it goes in after you tap it and say it. Let's do the magnetic letter tile drill for reading. Student, do you have your board there? Your sound is P. Can you repeat that sound? Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is I. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your last sound is O. Can you repeat that sound? Now grab the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Okay. Apply any spelling rules that need to get applied, and then tap it and say it. Did you get pill, as in I will take a vitamin pill? If you did, that's correct. Did you spell it P-I-L-L? Because that's a word that ends in L and it's a one-syllable, closed syllable. And so we know that when we have a situation like that, we double F, L, S, or Z if they're at the end of the word. So that's a doubler. Okay, let's try a new one. Put your tiles away. Yours, let's see. Let's do, your sound is G. Can you repeat that sound? Okay. Now find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Your next sound is Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And your next sound is ol. Can you repeat that sound? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now tap it and say it and apply any spelling rules that need to get applied. What did you get? Did you say gull, as in I saw the seagull? If you did, that's correct. And did you spell it G-U-L-L? If you did, that's right. Teacher, if there's time permitting, you could do another word in this way or two. And if not, then we'll just carry on to the isolated word list. You'll have the student read the words, and then you move on to the short story. We're moving into the writing section of the lesson. You'll need your magnetic letter tile board, student, because we're doing the magnetic letter tile drill for spelling. Your word is yell. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will yell at the top of my lungs. What's the first sound that you hear in yell? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in yell? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in yell? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now apply any spelling rules that have to get applied. And tap it and say it. Did you get Y-E-L-L? If you did, that's right. Tell your teacher why you doubled the L. Okay, put those tiles away and let's try a new word. All right, your word is cliff. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I will climb the cliff. What's the first sound that you hear in cliff? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in cliff? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. What's the next sound that you hear in cliff? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. And what's the last sound that you hear in cliff? Find the correct tile and pull it to the middle. Now apply any spelling rules that have to get applied. And tap it and say it. Did you get C-L-I-F-F? If you did, that's right. Once again, teacher, if there's time permitting, you could do more words in this way. And if not, we'll just continue on. And we're going to move into some finger tapping or tracing. Student, you can decide, would you like to tap out the word and say the sounds, and then grab the word and say the whole word? Or would you like to trace it on a body part doing the same kind of thing? So you'll trace the letter and say the sound. And then you will grab the whole word, say the whole word, and then write it down. You'll need some lined paper and a pencil for this one. Student, your word is crutch. Can you repeat that word? I might say, I had to use a crutch when I hurt my leg. Okay, so I'd like you to tap out the sounds in that word or trace them and say them. Grab the whole word, say the whole word, and then write it down. Okay, remember to apply any spelling rules that have to get applied. Okay, did you write it as C-R-U-T-C-H? If you did, that's right. We need the T in that one. Can you explain to your teacher why we need the T? All right, here's your next word. Hunch. Can you repeat that word? And if I was going to put it in a sentence, I might say, I have a hunch that you will spell this correctly. Hunch. So tap it or trace it, and then you can write it down. Did you write it as H-U-N-C-H? If you did, that's correct. And how did you know not to use the T in this one? Tell your teacher. Okay, your last word is lull. I might say, can you repeat that word first of all? Lull. And I might say, I can be lulled into a sleep. Or I will lull you into a sleep. All right. Tap it and say it, or trace it and say it, and then I would like you to write it down. Okay, did you get L-U-L-L? If you did, that's correct, because that doubling rule of F, L, S, and Z kicks in because it ends, it's a one-syllable closed syllable that ends in an L. Great work. It's time to write some sentences. Your teacher will read out all 3 sentences, and you can choose the 2 that you would like to write. When you finish writing a sentence, use CHOPS to check your work. Let's do a quick review before you go. We've been talking about TCH. When do you use it, and when do you not need it? Here's an example word. Can you tap this one and say it? Okay, this word is pitch. I might pitch the ball. Can you tell your teacher why this word is either spelled correctly or is spelled incorrectly? Have a quick discussion about that and then come back to me. Okay, here's a new word. Can you tap this one and say it? This word is pill. I might take a vitamin pill. This is a different spelling rule that kicks in for this one. This word is spelled correctly. Can you explain the doubling rule to your teacher for this one? Why is this spelled correctly? Okay, and that is the end of lesson 37. Great job today. This is Shawna Odette from the Flying Cat Academy. way we do this drill will depend on your student. For some students, it would be best just to have the student tap it and say it, and then move the word to the correct pile. So everything's visual, they can see what they're doing. For other students who need a bit more of a challenge, the teacher could have the cards and not show them to the student, and the student would listen and tell you what is the last sound in that word. So if the word was class, they would say the last sound is S. So that S, that's an S, it must be going to get doubled. And then you could reveal it and put it in the correct pile. So I'll let you choose how you do that one.